What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, July 31st, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 15:02 Eastern Time here in the United States. And yesterday, we had some major breaking news come in from the Middle East. So, if you guys haven't heard, Israel assassinated the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran. They used a guided missile to assassinate him while he was in his sleep. And that was just a few hours after Israel assassinated the second in command of Hezbollah, Fuad Shukr, in the southern suburbs of Beirut, Lebanon. So Fuad Shukr was actually responsible for the 1983 U.S. Marine Corps barracks bombing in Beirut, which killed 241 Marines. And Israel believed that he was the guy responsible for the soccer field attack over the weekend that killed over a dozen Israeli children in broad daylight. And he's also Nasrallah's right-hand man. He was Nasrallah's right-hand man, and the U.S. had a $5 million reward for him. So this guy is now dead, and the leader of Hamas dead, killed in Tehran in his sleep. So this is absolutely embarrassing for Iran. Israel being able to penetrate their air defenses and take out the leader of Hamas in their capital city. So I am very concerned that as soon as tonight, we could see Iran launch a massive retaliation strike on Israel in conjunction with Hezbollah, the Houthis, and other proxies in the region. Now, before I continue with this breaking news and update you on some more of the details related to this, I want to mention some other concerning news that came in earlier this morning. So, Russia is now starting the third phase of their tactical nuclear weapons exercises, and apparently they're going to be working with the Iskander systems. So somehow I don't believe that these are actually exercises. I think that this is Russia warning NATO and telling NATO, listen, we're putting our tactical nukes on high alert, and if you give those F-16s with long-range missiles to Ukraine and they start striking our territory, we're going to do what we need to do to defend ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just telling you what Russia's position is on it, okay? Whether you agree with it or not, that's how Russia thinks. That's how the leaders of Russia think, okay? So, for some reason, I think this is the last exercise that they're doing with these tactical nukes before they actually use them. Poland is going to be moving 17,000 troops to the northeastern part of their country in what they call Operation Bezpieczna Podlasie, which is basically the code name for this operation where they're moving all these troops into the northeastern part of Poland to guard the Suwałki Gap. And there was also an attack on a Russian military warehouse in Kursk last night by Ukrainian drones. This update was sponsored by Patriot Supply. Guys, Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day, breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And last night, Russia launched the largest drone attack of 2024 against Ukraine. Want to just show you guys what we have going on over the U.S. right now. We currently have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. We also have a presidential doomsday plane that is airborne right now over Texas. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. So we have a Cobra ball up in the air over Iowa. That's a missile detecting plane. This plane can detect the trajectory of missiles. We have a National Airborne Operations Center up in the air right now, a doomsday plane. And what's interesting about this doomsday plane is it took off from Offutt Air Base, which is home of Stratcom. That's not too unusual. That's where they're actually based out of. But it went all the way to DC, and it didn't actually land in DC like usually that's what they do. They pick up a VIP in DC and then they fly back to Wright-Patterson, or they fly back to Offutt, but it actually just flew right over DC, and now it is heading southwest over Texas. Very unusual. So there's probably some kind of VIP on this doomsday plane. We also have 3 B-52 nuclear bombers airborne right now. We have 2 over Louisiana, 1 over Texas, and then we have 2 nuclear war command and control planes. So our nuclear forces are on high alert, guys. I am expecting something to go down this evening and tonight. I don't think it's going to be long before Iran retaliates, because this was an embarrassment. Okay, Israel embarrassed Iran on the world stage, being able to strike in their capital, bypassing their air defenses and taking out the leader of Hamas. Okay, that is embarrassing. It makes Iran look weak. So now Iran has to prove that they're not weak. And so in order to do that, they got to launch hundreds and hundreds of missiles at Israel. Okay, remember last time they launched like 300 missiles at Israel, and it took a combined effort of like half a dozen allied countries, including the US, to shoot all the missiles down. I don't think we're going to get that lucky this time, because I think this time Iran is going to launch 2 or 3 times the amount of missiles as last time, and it's going to be very difficult to shoot all those missiles down. So we have to pray for Israel, guys. Pray for Israel. Israel is God's chosen land, and the Jews are God's chosen people. Okay, anybody that attacks Israel will be punished. Okay, look at all these leaders of Iran that have dropped like flies in the last 2 months because they've been going against Israel. The president of Iran and the Iranian foreign minister both killed in a helicopter crash. The leader of Hamas killed, okay, the second in command of Hezbollah. All right, so the leader of Iran, the Ayatollah Khamenei, is probably super scared right now. And, you know, if Israel can take out the leader of Hamas in Tehran, they can take out the leader of Iran if they want to as well. We have some unusual activity here off the coast of Florida this afternoon. We have several sub hunters off the coast of Florida. We have 2 off the west coast of Florida, and then we had 1 or 2 earlier off the east coast of Florida. And then we also have a U.S. Navy drone over here off the coast of Daytona Beach. So these could be looking for the Russian subs and warships that went down to Cuba recently. Now, what's interesting is we also have a lot of activity off of Virginia Beach. We have a sub hunter that was just flying really low off of Virginia Beach. And if you were watching the live streams the last 2 days, there's been a KC-135 aerial refueler that's been flying east to west right off the coast of Virginia Beach in like 100-mile wide pattern, just back and forth, back and forth. And I think they're looking for something over here, okay? So, and then also off the coast of Florida. And then yesterday we had 2 compass call planes airborne, one in the Gulf of Mexico and one in Alaska. Now, the compass call planes are electronic warfare planes. They're new electronic warfare planes. And I do believe that these planes were up in the air because of a Russian presence close to our shores, close to Alaska and in the Gulf of Mexico. We currently have an aerial refueler going down into the Caribbean, accompanying an E-3 Sentry AWACS plane. My guess is it's probably going down to Venezuela. Now, the situation in Venezuela is status quo. There's still riots going on. There's still the opposition fighting against Maduro's regime. It does appear that Maria Machado is the favored leader to take over from Maduro once Maduro is kicked out and overthrown. Look at this. We have another P-8 Poseidon here patrolling the Bahamas and the southeastern coast of Florida. So the situation in Venezuela is still very tense. The leader of Venezuela has gone into hiding. We don't know where he is. What's funny is he actually challenged Elon Musk to a fight on live TV or live video, and Elon Musk said that Maduro was too chicken. And what you're looking at here is what appears to be the first F-16 flying in Ukraine. We don't know if this is a legitimate picture or where this was taken, but this is being circulated on social media as the first F-16 in Ukraine. There was a video that came out yesterday showing an F-16 flying over Ukraine. I showed that video in my stream. So Ukraine is supposed to get 79 F-16s, which means they're going to have probably more F-16s than any European country besides the UK and possibly Germany. Okay, so that is a massive amount of F-16s, and they're going to get American missiles for these F-16s. Okay, so the Ukrainians are going to use American jets and American missiles to strike Russian territory. Okay, so that is a huge deal. Okay, here we have another P-8 Poseidon that was airborne in the Gulf. This is a sub-Hunter plane. This was last night. And I want to just continue with some more of the breaking news coming in from the Middle East. So Iran has raised the Islamic red flag of revenge in the city of Qom in preparation for war with Israel. Okay, so this is very concerning, guys. I can't remember the last time Iran raised their red flag. Okay, the red flag is like the worst one. That's the one that basically says jihad, holy war, revenge. Okay, and the Israeli foreign minister, Israel Katz, said Israel is not interested in an all-out war, but the only way to prevent it is the immediate implementation of Resolution 1701. And he's talking about Lebanon and the UN Resolution 1701, where Hezbollah is supposed to stay north of the Litani River. And U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin spoke with the Israeli Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant today. And according to a Pentagon readout, it was about Israel's response to Hezbollah and Israel's security. And U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reiterated his unwavering commitment to Israel's security on Wednesday and said Washington would come to Israel's defense if needed. So that was today. And Iran has requested an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. And an Israeli government spokesman said, "We are on extremely high alert for a possible Iranian attack." And the U.S. State Department said, "We will take all measures to protect our personnel and interests in the Middle East." And Iran's National Security Council had an emergency meeting this morning immediately after Haniyeh was killed. And this meeting included the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. And after the meeting of the National Security Council in Iran, Iran's supreme leader, Khamenei, said severe punishment awaits Israel. Wow. And Iran's National Security Council said Haniyeh's assassination crossed red lines and Israel will bear a heavy price. And the new Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, said, yesterday I waved Haniyeh's victorious hand and now I have to carry it on my shoulders and bury it. Iran will defend its sovereignty and make the invading terrorists regret their cowardly action. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani said in a statement that Haniyeh's killing will strengthen the deep and unbreakable bond between Iran and the resistance. And the New York Times is reporting that officials in Iran are shocked and consider Haniyeh's assassination a blow to their country's reputation. And the Lebanese Minister of Information said, we expect Hezbollah to respond to the attack in the southern suburbs of Beirut and that a government plan is ready in the event of a large displacement in Lebanon. Okay, so they're talking about a massive evacuation of civilians from Beirut due to war. Okay, so Lebanon already has a government plan in place. The Lebanese prime minister summoned the government ministers to an emergency meeting today in order to prepare for the expected escalation. And Russia said Haniyeh's killing is a completely unacceptable political assassination. Wow. So Russia showing their true colors, okay, calling this a political assassination, which is just absolutely insane. This is coming right out of the Bible, guys. The Bible says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and 39, that Russia will support all these Islamic radical countries and groups, and they will join forces and attack Israel. And the Chinese Foreign Ministry said that there must be an immediate ceasefire to avoid a greater escalation. So China just wants everybody to get along. And the White House said that Biden received a briefing on the developments in the Middle East. And the Palestinian leader, Mahmoud Abbas, said that the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh was a cowardly act and a dangerous development. And the Turkish Foreign Minister, Hakan Fidan, said they killed peace just as they killed Ismail Haniyeh. And the Al Akhbar newspaper in Lebanon is reporting that foreign embassies in the capital of Beirut, including the American embassy, have begun the implementation of contingency plans to assist in the evacuation of their citizens from Lebanon in the case of a full-scale war in the region. These plans involve the monitoring of roads, airfields, and ports, which could be utilized by the military for civilian evacuations if Beirut Airport is out of service. We're hearing reports of total GPS outages in Lebanon and in parts of Israel. And the British Foreign Minister said yesterday, my message to our citizens in Lebanon, leave now. So already the US, the UK, Australia, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, several European countries have told their citizens to leave Lebanon immediately. And the National Emergency Committee of Lebanon has declared a state of alert throughout the southern part of Lebanon for civil defense, hospitals, and municipalities. And also, Israel closed their entire airspace in the northern part of Israel in anticipation of missile strikes and rocket strikes from Hezbollah and Iran. And we know that the WASP amphibious ready group, consisting of 2,500 Marines, is now being directed towards Lebanon for possible evacuation of citizens of the U.S. and allied nations from Lebanon. They're going to join up with a British Navy grouping of ships. So it looks like they're going to start evacuating people out of Lebanon. And Apparently, a North Korean self-propelled anti-tank missile system was spotted in Ukraine near Kharkiv. Apparently, images of the North Korean Bullseye 4 long-range anti-tank missile system appeared on Telegram after being spotted by a Ukrainian drone. And as a result of the attack on the Russian bomber base Olenya, 2 Russian Tu-22M3 bombers were damaged. So Russia is definitely not going to be happy about that. Want to show you guys some more flight paths here. So here we have a Russian Air Force plane going to Kaliningrad. This is the second night in a row we've seen Russian military planes go to Kaliningrad, probably bringing troops and equipment there for their attack on Lithuania and possibly Poland. And here you can see another U.S. RQ4 drone flying in northern Poland, patrolling the border with Russia. Here we have more sub-hunter activity earlier today off the coast of Florida. You can see 3 sub-hunters here, 2 off of Florida's east coast and 1 off of Florida's west coast. And last night we had a British Eurofighter Typhoon that flew over Israel and into Jordan. And there was an aerial refueler with it as well. Very interesting. And we had a lot of reconnaissance in Finland last night. Here we have a Swedish reconnaissance plane that was patrolling Finland's border with Russia close to St. Petersburg in southern Finland. And we had several reconnaissance planes in Poland last night. Here we have a German reconnaissance plane in northwest Poland. Then there was a Polish reconnaissance plane patrolling their border with Belarus. And there was a U.S. Army VIP plane that left Warsaw and went back to Germany. So very interesting. So yesterday I broke the news that the U.S. Army is moving tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and self-propelled artillery to Poland now. Okay, they're moving hundreds of tanks and infantry fighting vehicles into Poland. And here are the compass call planes I was talking about. These are electronic warfare planes used for jamming. One was off the coast of Texas. One was in Alaska, and obviously a response to recent Russian activity in these areas. Okay, Russian subs and warships in the Gulf. And then we had those Russian bombers that flew to the air defense zone in Alaska a week ago. And then here's that KC-135 that's been doing this east to west pattern off the coast of Norfolk Naval Base. Okay, this is very concerning. And then another P-8 Poseidon down here yesterday. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. It looks like all hell is about to break loose in the Middle East. I am expecting a very serious escalation by Iran and Hezbollah and all of their allies. So I will be covering it live. Make sure you check my channel to see if I'm live or not. Sometimes notifications don't go out, so don't trust them. Follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates there, and also I post all my live streams there when I go live. So if you follow me there, you won't miss an update and you won't miss a live stream, and the links are in the description below this video. So until the next time, or until I see you on the live stream, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.